Stepfather's Lament. In shadows deep the trap is laid. A single mother's game is played. Her child a chain from seed not mine. A burden born of past design. No blood to bind, no claim to hold. Just scraps of life already cold. I step in fool to fix her fall. A cuckold's crown my only call. The courts they grin, their scales askew. Her tears outweigh my blood and rue. I pay the toll, her kids my load. A road to ruin, paved and owed. She chose before a fleeting spark, left lone with spawn in twilight's dark. Why mend her wreck, her broken bet? I'm but a tool, her safety net. The child stares cold, no love to give. A stranger's life I'm forced to live. Her father's ghost, her heart still clings. I'm second string on borrowed wings. Society sings her martyr's tune. Brave single mom beneath the moon. I'm cast aside the wallet's shell. A silent scream in muted hell. My youth, my coin, my soul to drain. For what? A loss, no shred of gain. The world's her crutch, her throne secure. I'm left to rot, impure, impure. Black pill whispers truth so grim. No savior's light, no victor's hymn. Stepfather's yoke, a fool's despair. Walk free, my brother, leave her there.
My stepfather took my mom with 3 kids.
So what do you call him?
Is he a simp?
I wouldn't call him a simp, but my mom called him a simp.
Damn.
My mom definitely called him a simp. But
oh my God.
Honestly, God,
y'all hear that?
Yeah, my mom did call him a simp.
All that for that woman.
Okay.
Took care of his 3 kids, and she called him a simp.
My mom told me straight up. She told me, "Yo, don't ever date a woman with kids."
My mom told me the same thing.
Don't ever.
And
Oh, look at Daddy.
He's not my dad, Mom.
Really, Ava?
He's not. My dad's in jail and I miss him.
And I do marry a single mom that has a kid and she ends up being Medusa, I'm in a really bad spot. Why? Because now that kid that I invested money into, time, resources that I took care of, that looks at me as a father, I have no legal right to that child. She could divorce me, take that kid. I can't fight to get that kid back because it's not mine. I have no right to that child. So that's why it is completely stupid for a man to take a single mother seriously from, how do I say this? From a percentage standpoint of failure. The likelihood of you failing is extremely high, especially since we know 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Most of the child custody goes to women 90% of the time.
Psychological torture to raise another man's kid.
Torture?
It's torture.
Why?
Because you're pretending to be something that you're not. You're raising a child that doesn't belong to you. That's rough. I don't care what nobody say. Now it gets done, and thank God we do have men who will do that, but psychologically is detrimental to your health.
What does it mean truly to enter into matrimony? Marriage as it once was conceived promised the merging of 2 destinies into a unified and harmonious legacy. Yet, when a man weds a single mother, what legacy does he inherit? Here, the covenant of marriage becomes something altogether different. A binding to histories not his own, a stewardship over lives already shaped by prior choices. The question that must be asked, therefore, is not simply what he gains, but whether the undertaking itself is already foreclosed by the weight of antecedent realities. The weight of inheritance. At its most basic, a man who marries a single mother steps into the shadow of another man's story. The child, the living testament to that prior union, binds the mother to a past that cannot be erased. It is not the man's legacy that unfolds in this arrangement, but rather an inherited burden, a history shaped by absent fathers, fractured bonds, and lingering obligations. The financial burdens alone bear witness to this dynamic. He will invest his resources not in the cultivation of his own line, but in subsidizing a lineage not his. What legacy remains for him when the wealth of his labor is directed towards sustaining another man's progeny? The echoes of failed choices. In literary tragedy, we often find that characters are doomed not by singular acts, but by the cumulative weight of repeated errors. So it is in the narratives that lead to single motherhood, failed relationships, ill-fated choices, and irretrievable moments of disillusion. They all coalesce into a pattern. To marry into such a history is to step into a drama already in its latter acts, a drama that may well be destined for further unraveling. Consider, for instance, that more than 2/3 of divorces are initiated by women, a fact that underscores the volatility and impermanence that often attends modern unions. What then compels a man to believe he will be the exception in this narrative rather than its next casualty? The tyranny of the system. One must also reckon with the inescapable machinery of law and custom, which has grown increasingly lopsided in its judgments. Family courts, steeped in what can only be described as a gynocentric bias, place men in precarious positions. Custody battles overwhelmingly favor mothers, and financial obligations endure long after emotional ties have unraveled. The man who dares to step into the role of stepfather risks finding himself ensnared in legal binds, paying not only for his own children, if he has any, but paradoxically, for children to whom he has no biological claim. It is a Kafkaesque arrangement where justice, once imagined as blind, seems instead to wield her scales in favor of one side only. An outsider within the house.
I'ma see if you gonna tell him. He coming in right now.
I let him know what's
And then
up.
when, cause he ain't going nowhere. That's my son. That's my only son.
At some point, he got to go.
Never no time.
I mean, at some point, he
Never
got
no
to
time.
Man.
Never no time.
Well, tell him, Christian.
No, you tell him. We talking about you grown and you gotta go somewhere. I told him you my only son. You ain't going no damn where. You go when you get ready.
Man, I just feel at some point you need to make your own way. That's what I be wanting to walk through the house naked sometime, and there you go. So I mean, what?
No, if anything, you can go, not him. How about that?
I want to pay all the fucking bills in here. How the you gonna tell me where I can go?
But the thing is, like, why do I got to, this is my mama's house, like, why do I got to leave my mama's house?
Period.
Man, you damn near 40 years old, damn near it's time to go. I mean, at what point?
I'm 29, I'm not damn near 40.
Well, that's pretty 10
But
years
you know
away.
what, when I met you was living with your mama.
Man, please,
You
I
was
was
living
in
with
and
your-
out. Come
you
on,
was
man.
living with your mama.
I
Now
was
you
only
gonna tell
22
me.
years old.
Now you gonna tell me
Get out of
because
here.
he
I ain't
29.
gonna lie, but I ain't getting out. I'm not getting out.
Man,
I'm
he
not
got
going
to
nowhere.
go.
I'm not going nowhere.
He
This
has
is
to
my
go.
house.
Well,
And you ain't gotta go
You know
nowhere.
what, damn it, I ain't gonna pay no bills either then, damn it. Now, how you feel about that? You don't want him to go, I won't pay the bills.
No,
but
you gonna continue to pay
he
the
got
bills.
to go though, man. It's too much. See, we arguing and stuff about stuff.
Because,
You know
but at
what
the
I'm
end of the
saying?
day, all y'all do is tell me to help. Y'all ain't saying nothing. It's like,
Man, you a
so
grown
y'all ain't
ass
saying
man. You supposed to know the garbage overfilled. You supposed to know to take that outside. Come on, man. I don't have to tell you all this stuff, man.
But the thing is, I'm barely here, so I'm barely making garbage. So why I gotta take the garbage out if I'm barely here? If I'm barely here, barely making garbage, barely making dishes, like why I gotta do anything?
Well, she gonna
Right.
always make excuses for you, man. But
Right, he don't even be here. So what is you talking about? He don't be here like that. He come here,
well,
he
when
sleep,
he's
and
here,
then he on
he needs to
business the
help
rest
out.
of the day.
When he's here, he needs to help out. He needs to do some things. He
Well,
needs
I
to be
tell you what,
productive.
he ain't paying no bills
damn it,
and
he
he
gonna
ain't
start
gotta go.
paying some bills around
But
this
I ain't
camp.
paying.
But
I gotta pay.
I'd rather for him to
My
get the
mama,
fuck out.
but listen, my mama said I gotta pay no bills. I ain't paying no bills.
He gotta pay. What I want him to do is save his money and do what he
See,
needs to do with his
you
money
the whole reason
and
why
not
he is
pay
the way
no
he is,
bills.
because all this soft shit you bringing to him, he still got the titty in the mouth. You let
Oh,
all that
hell
stuff
no.
go on.
No, you know what I know? You jealous. You jealous of my son.
You would say
You
that.
jealous of my son.
Only you would say some bull
But I
crap.
don't know
Like that.
if you jealous or not, but I just know I ain't getting on my mama's house. Like, if I gotta get my mama's house, you gotta put me on my mama's house at the end of the day.
Well,
Just at the
damn
end
it,
of the
I'm
day.
gonna be carrying you out. You got to go.
Oh, you don't mean you want to carry
Ain't
him
got
both out then if
ain't
that's
got
the
no
case.
problem with carrying them out. I just shoot them on out. And you,
Michael, now you know good and damn well I'm not kicking my son out.
I ain't going
What point
I
you respect
No, at the end of the day, I ain't worried about it. Like, at the end of the day, I'm here. I live here, so till I'm ready to get out, I'm gonna be here. So it don't matter.
At what point is you trying to? What's your plans for this man? What's
my plan is to stay in here as long as I need to stay in here. That's my plan.
And what if he 45, 50?
And he gonna be 45, 50 up in here.
Crazy as hell. Well, damn it, I'm gonna be out there.
Bye.
No,
Bye.
He's going
Get the
before
step
me.
in. Get the step in.
He's
Because
going.
this my only son. He ain't going nowhere.
That's what's
My only son, shit.
You the one made him like this because yo weak ass.
You know
made
what?
him.
Come and go. Your son is forever.
Man, I
See
feel
what I'm
go.
saying?
You better go.
See what I'm saying? That's
Right. And like I said,
you made him this way. You made him this way.
I ain't make him this way.
This is a product of your.
I ain't making this way.
This
Like
is a
I
product
said,
of
it
your
ain't like
bad
he don't.
decision. Your bad choice.
It ain't like he don't know how to get out here. Like I said, when he ready to go, he can go.
An outsider within the household. Even within the home, the man who marries a single mother often finds himself in the uneasy position of perpetual outsider. The biological bond between mother and child is immutable, and the stepfather, despite his best intentions, may find himself marginalized. The child, shaped by the absence or presence of its biological father, may view the stepfather with suspicion or resentment, a stranger who must earn loyalty rather than assume it by right. This dynamic, fraught with unspoken tensions, is unlikely to yield the harmonious unity that marriage once promised. Declining value and desperate trajectories. We come then to a sobering observation. The trajectories of men and women in terms of perceived social and romantic value diverge sharply over time. A man, as he ages, often accrues status, wealth, and experience, enhancing his desirability. A woman's desirability, however, tends to peak earlier, particularly in societies that valorize youth and fertility. The single mother, already past her prime in this regard, seeks stability, a provider who can secure her future. Yet in doing so, she offers a man a diminished bargain, the remnants of her past rather than the full promise of her youth. Is it any wonder then that some men resist this exchange, preferring instead to retain their autonomy and preserve their resources for a future of their own making? A one-sided sacrifice. At the heart of this dilemma is the issue of sacrifice. Who gives and who gains? The man who marries a single mother sacrifices his resources, his time, and potentially his future children's inheritance. In return, he becomes a stabilizing presence in a household that may never fully embrace him. It is a transactional arrangement, but one in which the ledger is heavily skewed toward the mother and child. A reflection on freedom and legacy. In the final analysis, the choice not to marry a single mother is for many men a choice to preserve freedom, legacy, and autonomy. It is not necessarily a rejection of the woman herself, but rather a recognition of the profound asymmetries that shape such unions. In a world increasingly indifferent to the sacrifices of men, perhaps it is not cynicism, but wisdom to opt out of arrangements that offer more burdens than benefits. The question then is not why some men decline this path, but why so many others continue to tread it, hoping, perhaps vainly, that their fate will somehow be different.
Son! Yo, son, what's up? What?
You're not my dad! You also want to hear something! Ugly ass fucking noodle.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy. What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy. What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy. What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
Ściany sztamu śpią, skalp tory.